listen to you.
So, first of all, please tell us about your vision for Gran Turismo. Not only this latest game, but Gran Turismo and all.
The first time I thought of making the Gran Turismo game was when I was around 15 years old, and back then the simple idea was to make real cars and to provide a real experience of driving. But this was actually a lot more easier to said than done, and it was very deep once you got into it. And now it's been 10 years since the development of the series, but we still have so much more left to do.
You talk about extra things that you want to do in the future. What would you like to include in future iterations that you weren't able to this time?
It's hard to answer that exactly in detail at this point, but there's a lot of interaction with the environment and the car that we'd like to keep working on. That would include things like lighting, effects of weather, the pure existence of air around the car. Things like this is something that we have to keep working on. And now, of course, in the new version, we have an actual driver in the car that's visible. And in addition to that, we would like to make sure that there's further kind of a companionship between the driver and the car, sort of a relationship that we can further within the game.
What's the vision for sending this prologue of Gran Turismo 5 on the market before the final game? What would you like to achieve with this?
Well, you have to kind of look at it this way, in that GT5 Prologue is not just a cut-out portion of GT5. GT5 Prologue contains everything that we have and all of our abilities at Polyphony Digital at this current moment. But the only problem is GT5 Prologue is, by our standards, it's not fit to be called GT5 yet. And that's the only reason why it's named GT5 Prologue. And in order for us to complete something that can be called the official GT5, it would have taken us up to 2010. And that it was a very difficult decision to make.
We have had a lot of questions about from readers who have already, of course, bought Prologue that wants to know if it will be possible to download the rest of GT5 as a download from the PSN store, or if they have to go out and buy it again.
The final product, GT5, will be completely separate. It will be sold separately on a Blu-ray disc. And one of the reasons being the current GT5 Prologue is at the maximum size that we can possibly sell on the PSN network as a download sale. So the next version, the actual product version of Gran Turismo 5 will be on Blu-ray disc as a totally separate product.
Of course, I gotta ask this. Real-time damage on the cars seems to be one of the only, I would say, one of the only points that people are pointing out still missing from the Gran Turismo series. Is there a reason for this? And do you think that it affects the game? And is it something that you would like to include?
The reason for not including damage has a very long history and background to it, so I'm not going to go into details here. But we have been researching the addition of damage into the game, and we're actually hoping to include it into Gran Turismo 5 Prologue around fall of this year.
There's a lot of strong contenders in the car racing genre right now. Has any games in particular given you new ideas for what you want to do with Gran Turismo, inspired you?
I don't play most of the other games, so it's hard for me to be influenced by any of them.